Welcome to the Real Conversation Show. My name's Christopher Robinson. We have.
Ersa Simpson.
Daniela.
Ken Johnson.
So, the topic for this one is, I don't want to generalize because obviously this isn't true of everyone, but the question we want to ask is, do the majority of young women of color know how to effectively choose a mate? So that's the question, and I want to start with, in a row, what's your position and why?
Okay, so do women of color actually know how to pick a mate? I do think that we do, and the reason I do think that is because I am a woman of color and I feel that I have picked a great mate, but I can go into that a little more later on in regards to why I do think that we can.
I'm going to say no. And because we're speaking of the majority, I'm going to say no. We need help. Well, not me, but the majority needs help on what to see because there are a lot of different fallacies out there, and we'll get into that after Ken gives his.
And I'll have to say yes and no. It depends on the upbringing and what they're taught.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that for now. And then we'll get deeper as well.
I like that.
I think as a plurality, I think it's almost 50-50. Because the reality is I think there's almost two categories of black people. One that gets completely ignored in the media, that people that have careers, are getting educated, are getting married, starting families, doing completely normal people, right? Mm-hmm. However, the reality is there's a large percentage of people that clearly have no clue.
Right.
Yes.
And those people, I think, based on some of the things I've seen and watched on social media, literally don't know what a quality mate, but that's men and women, the topic right now is women, don't know what a quality mate looks like.
Yeah.
So they don't know where to begin, and usually it's because that person wasn't in their household growing up, so they don't know what to even begin with.
I disagree with that being the point today. I feel like social media plays a huge part
role.
because these relationship goals where we both have matching Jordans on, that seems
it's very what is it? It's a vanity.
Yeah.
It's very
what we look like.
Yeah, what we look like, and then when it goes deeper, it's like, okay, we actually have to work at this. I want it right now, and I want the perfectness right now, and if we've got to work at it, then on to the next. So it's very quick. It's very, I need it in the moment. Social media has a lot to play a big role in why currently, if we were to say if black women knew how to pick, I would say, I guess it is a 50-50 currently. And social media does have a lot to do with that.
Okay.
I feel you on that, Danielle, but that's where we as adults and parents have to step in and parent and teach and not allow social media to teach. A lot of people, they let their kids be on their computer or cell phone all the way till midnight, and that's what they're learning from.
True.
They should actually be conversing with them at dinner and stuff.
The people that are our age, that we're talking about, the majority of these women that aren't picking good mates, we didn't have all these. We had MySpace, but it wasn't it wasn't as bad as it is now. So what's the next excuse? I feel like a lot of black women, we want the guy because we see this. We want the guy that's driving the 2020 Benz. We want the guy that's already established. A lot of us aren't willing to work with that guy that we see that have that potential. We want it now, like you said. We want that popcorn bag. We want it now.
And we have work to do. So we're wanting this, and we're here.
We're not even there yet.
We want you to be able to compromise. But we want you to find us when we're going to school and when we're trying to build our platform. But you have to already have built your platform.
Or and I see a lot of us. And I know I'm going to catch heat for this, and I don't care. This is a real conversation show, and this is the real.
But we're not generalizing. This is a 50-50. I do think that we can't just say as a whole that all of us make these type of decisions.
We're not saying as a whole. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But it's a majority. And so because it is a majority, if it was not, we wouldn't be talking about it. It's a problem. It's a problem. But you have the ones that sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to talk to him because look at his shoes. You don't know where that man just came from. Or you don't, these could be just his clothes that he went riding his bike and now you bumped into him. And But you'll talk to the guy that's saying, psst, 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 but the
cat
guy
calling.
So here's where we get into the point where I say what I mean by people don't even know what it looks like, right?
Right.
Yes.
Because, so I find myself a lot of times, because of what I do, dealing with people who own businesses, right? And the reality is, and this is what goes back to not having a clue what you're even looking for. What your shoes look like.
I know where you're going.
I know a lot of millionaires who wear the most regular Macy's shoes on the planet.
Not even Macy's.
Payless.
Yeah.
It's like, it's literally, you don't know what success looks like because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
So you're looking for something that's really easy to get. I can go out tomorrow and buy
Robin's jeans and
Audi S8 with 195,000 miles for next to nothing. I can buy a pair of $200 shoes, and you think I have more money than someone who's actually successful.
Right.
And that's what I mean by literally not being able to figure out what it looks like. They literally don't know what it looks like.
Because we're looking at, like, and I can get deeper as to where I believe that this started.
Yeah. I was like, if you want to go all the way back, this is a complete construction, though. Like,
but I don't want to change the topic. But
no, that's the whole point.
Okay.
Get the entire way through.
I just feel like we're always looking to see what this looks like, and it goes back to our mindset and where we've been as a whole, Black people, period, where we feel like the materials, that's what makes us who we are, or the materials means you have it or you don't have it. And that's not so, and that's how we've become so warped as women.
Because that's what's been taught, too.
Yes.
So, it goes back to generation to generation to generation.
Yes.
It's all about what you wear, your appearance. So, for example, it goes back to that. We think that we have to completely dress up to go to church, but if you were to go and attend a white church, they have slacks on, jerseys, whatever. It's not about the appearance, it's what about's on the inside.
Exactly.
That's not what's taught in the Black community. So, yes, we are talking about women, but if we want to get deep, it's something that is not being constructed within our community to understand that there's value within the person, not the value of what they're wearing or what they have. So I do think that that's the issue, is that, and it does go back to also the upbringing. I really think that's true, what you do see in the house. Now, there are people who do have a single parent and they're still raised with values due to their parent. Mm-hmm. But if you want to go off majority of the single parent mothers who are sitting there telling their daughters, your father ain't this, your father ain't that, well, then that's going to already put her in the mindset that men of this type of stature are not good enough for me. So who am I looking for? I don't know. So I'm going to go off of what I see. And when women are chasing after money, cars, clothes, well, guess what? I'm going to do what my friend's doing because that's all I know right now.
And you hear a lot of Black women that say, I'm tired of having to fix the man up. I'm tired of having to get him, and now I have to carry him and this and that, which is a part of something that our men need to work on as well, to meet each other in the middle. And because there are a lot of Black men that are not doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to women and children that they've made. So I think it's a majority. It's like a plethora of different things that contribute to why we don't. And now a lot of us are at that point where we're saying, you know what, just give me Billy Bob over there. And I'm serious. Just give me him over there that has this and that already. When we're broken on the inside.
Boom. I was about to say that's the thing. We're sitting there projecting. We're projecting our insecurities onto these men, and it's not making it any better. I feel like there's so many broken women. They're like, well, it's not me. No, you're projecting a lot of your insecurities, a lot of the things that you're going through onto it. So when you're not whole, you can't see that it's not them. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's something that is triggering you to feel like, oh, well, he ain't doing this right. Well, actually, he probably is trying his best. Are you trying your best? So,
and social media, we're looking at these false relationships. You have social media, and then you also have like Housewives of Atlanta. That stuff is scripted. All of those things are scripted. Their husbands aren't coming. They're not pulling up in a G-Wagon saying, "Hey, baby, I bought this for you for your birthday."
First of all, they are rented.
They're rented.
Those
for
are
the day.
First of all, most of the real wives aren't wives.
You better say it.
Aren't real lives at all.
Okay.
Sip
So,
your tea on that one.
Going back to the responsibility part, right? And I'm probably going to catch stuff for saying this part.
It's fine. We're all going to
My
catch up.
concern, my concern with women choosing a mate is one of the reasons why I wanted to really do this topic, is when people say, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses for men that don't take care of their wives and children or whatever. It's not really the wives I'm talking about. But if you watch any sort of Discovery Channel, Animal Planet type of thing, right?
Yes.
I know I'm going way left.
Go ahead. Go
It is the female who is extraordinarily careful about who she chooses to mate with. And the male is just trying to stick his whatever in something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Across every species.
Yep.
And he's ready to kill the other one for her.
Yeah. They fight.
Now, the women in making that choice is what sets the tone of the bare minimum behavior across whatever community you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there has to be some minimum of what you can and can't be and do and still get any kind of play.